The universe is vast, enormous, huge, full of stars, planets and matter. Some of the matter is so dense that not even light escapes. We call it dark matter with Dave Navarro.
You hear that? That is Mr. Steve Vai right there on guitar, playing us in. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. Welcome to Dark Matter. My name is Dave Navarro. 9 p.m., as I say at the top of every show, primarily to get used to the sound of my own voice. It really is. It's a broadcasting trick? Hey, it's Dave Navarro. Welcome to Dark Matter. 9 p.m., top of the hour here, broadcasting to you live from Hollywood. See, all I'm doing is doing a sound check in my headphones.
But you sound like a pro.
But at the same time, I'm dispelling information. That is the magic of radio.
Do you do that in the morning when you wake up like, hey, 9 a.m., Dave Navarro, the birds are chirping?
Well, the way that my assistant, Kelsey, has been surreptitiously filming me, I should. I don't know if you've noticed this. She started her own Twitter account called Assisting Navarro. Mm-hmm. And it's an inside look into, put it this way, Jess, if I was ever mysterious to you...
You're not anymore.
I won't be anymore. It's basically behind the scenes look at the day-to-day life of Kelsey and Dave.
Which is so exciting and
really
entertaining.
Been picking up steam. People like it.
It's getting a lot of heat. And they're real moments. Like I don't know. Go check it out if you like watching me be embarrassed.
I have one question about it.
Yeah.
Did you really shit in the trash?
No.
Because that is something that at a certain time you would have done.
No, that's just something I would say, though, for sure.
You might want to actually do it sometime.
Just for the film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or because it's assisting Navarro, you should have her shit in the trash and as if it's yours. You know what I mean?
Just the next thing, the task that I have for her is to shit on my chest while I film it on my iPhone.
Yeah,
there you go.
Like an assistant.
Like that's
would
what
do.
an assistant does, right?
Right.
Assist me with getting some shit on my chest.
Right. You can have her eat specific foods so
the
that
night before.
I know you're into art.
Yeah.
So, like, you might want a nice color palette.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's good. Like lots of carrots.
Or
Yeah,
beets.
carrots.
Beets looks a little bloody, though. That's a little scary.
Yeah, but for an artistic piece, it's like a
Let me tell you my story with the
blood
beets.
shit on your chest.
Let me tell you a story with my beets.
Beats by Dave?
Beets.
Sick beats.
By Dr. Dave. All right, so check it out. So about a year ago, Kelsey does all my marketing and my shopping and stuff. She goes to health food stores. And she got these things called beet chips. And what they are, they're like potato chips, dried out potato chips, but they're made of beets and they're all bright, bright red. That's what you would expect, right?
Yep.
The next morning, I got up to urinate and I was urinating bright red and I forgot I ate them. So I call my doctor. I'm like, I'm urinating blood and I don't know what to do. He's like, get over here right now. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm in my car, like racing to the doctor's office across town in a panic. Like, oh my God, get here right now. Is something wrong with one of my organs?
Right.
Is something shutting down? I've heard stories of bodies shutting down. And he has me pee in a cup and then he does a little tester in the office and he's like, well, there's no blood in there now. And I go, God, that's the strangest thing. And he steps out of the office and I start thinking and I'm like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. And then he comes in, I go, I think I fucked up. He's like, what do you mean? I go, is it possible if you ate the last thing you ate before you went to bed was a bag of dried beet red chips, and then the first thing you do is wake up and pee blood? Is there any correlation in there? And he's like, get out of here. Such an idiot. I thought it was dying.
I remember because you called me and you're like, bro, I'm on my way to the doctors. I fucking peed blood. You were freaking out.
Dying.
In case I don't talk to you, I love you, pal.
Yeah.
But
Thanks for being there.
It's better than doing nothing and then dying of testicular cancer in a week.
That's true.
That is true, but it seems like every other day I'm at the doctor.
Yeah.
I have a picture of my brain. I have a picture of my sinuses. I have a picture of my eyes. I have a picture of my teeth. I have a picture of my lungs. I have a picture of my hand. It's just, it's insane.
But you're healthy.
I am. Hey, Jess, what is that?
If you've ever missed our show, couldn't catch the entire episode, or even have the desire to listen to an old favorite, subscribe to Dave Navarro's Dark Matter Radio on iTunes today.
There you go. Well read.
Thank you.
And tonight is an exciting show because, as you guys know, Dan and I are armchair ufologists.
Yeah.
Those are people in the UFO field that study it. And tonight we have a guest coming in named Jeremy Corbell, who's the director of the film Hunt for the Skinwalker, which is a documentary about a ranch where all kinds of bizarre happenings are supposed to have taken place. We're going to get into that with him. And, you know, Dan and I are particularly excited because we feel that we know more in this field than the average
I would say
Joe.
so, yeah.
We pride ourselves on it. When you invest,
Losers is what they
exactly. I was just about to say. You're right. I was just about to say, when people invest the kind of time that we have invested in studying something like this, it's so nerdy that you have to have a sense of pride about it.
Otherwise, you'll get crucified.
Yeah, that's right.
People will give you wedgies and shit.
Like, oh, I'm deep in that world. Like, you know, you have to make it sound like a subculture.
Make other people feel bad for not being involved in it.
Oh, you got to get informed.
If you knew the stuff I knew.
I've got actual proof.
Yeah, right.
Listen,
exactly.
the stuff that I can't tell you over the air, but let's just say I know it. So anyway, we're going to have those conversations with him. And as you know,
We've all seen the film. They've seen it too.
Okay, you guys have seen it.
Yeah.
So we'll all ask him questions. But as you know, I am a armchair ufologist who is skeptical. And this seems like a really great guy to get into a debate with.
The good news is, so is he.
He's skeptical too.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe he's not the best guy to get into
No.
a debate with.
I think he was convinced by a lot of stuff in this film, but when I was booking him, I told
Really?
him...
Did he see the film?
I told him, I'm like, you know, Dave is skeptical and he's gonna grill you on a lot of these questions. He said,
Yeah.
good, because that's what I want to talk about.
Good.
And so he's open for
And
it.
it's also like, listen, I'm not saying I don't believe. I've said it a million times. I would love for something to show up and would make life so interesting, and like the scope of the universe would become so much more full of mystery and magic. And what else is, if that's there, well then what else? Like, you know, anything. I'm open to that. I just want concrete evidence that's not fucking, you know, B-roll of the desert for 45 minutes.
You mean a picture with a little black dot on it isn't convincing enough for you?
Or a piece of grass pushed down by some kind of piece of steel.
No, I wanted to see the piece of steel.
Yeah.
And there's one point in the film that I really want to get to him about, and maybe I'll save it until when he gets here. What time does he come?
10.
All right, so he'll be here in a little while. What else is going on? Todd, what's on your plate?
Nothing much. I would like to give out the phone number.
Do it.
In case we have any calls. 323-230-4445. That's 323-230-4445.
You know that his next movie is on Bob Lazar.
Mm-hmm.
So I will get into that too.
Yeah, he wants to get into that a little
Oh,
bit.
don't worry.
He's also doing the Hunt for the Skywalker Ranch, which is a little more
shit.
interesting.
Wow, that's
We're
really
all
good.
into that.
Lots of Chewbacca stuff, I think, in that one.
Yeah.
Great.
I thought he should have done a remake of Hunt for Red October.
The Hunt for Red Skinwalker.
Except this time, it's not in a submarine. It's in a spacecraft.
Oh, fucking shit.
Dude, I'm going to pitch that to him.
It's on a ranch.
Well, no. It's
Can we just pitch different pun movies to him the whole time he's here?
one's a SUFO.
Mm-hmm.
No, an SFO. Is that right?
SFO.
SFO, and one's a UFO.
Right.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So making it the ranch is not the
Doesn't
joke.
make sense. This is a ranch inside a craft.
Oh, it doesn't make sense. Works in this case. I'm going to stand by my story.
All right.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
Todd. I see it's news time. What do you got?
Order up!
Where did this come from? He doesn't have a mic. That's why my back's going to be fucking killing me.
Wait,
by
no,
the
this
end
is
of
my
night.
new special sound effect every time we're going to go to the news. Breaking news. Todd Newman, go ahead. What's the story?
Or
I
if you
think-
just want to
can-
nix a point someone's making.
Can I punch it up a little for you? I think that you
I don't
should
know
do,
that
if
you
you're
can
going to
do
do
it.
news, you should do like.
Oh,
All right.
on the ticker.
All right. This just in. I got nothing.
I wish the moment you hit that, Kelsey ran in here to
Oh
see
my
what you
God.
needed.
Oh, you know what's a great?
That's a good idea.
You know whose take I want to get on the Kavanaugh thing is our own Jessica Saddleberger.
That's
What are your
right.
thoughts?
I think he's guilty.
Why?
I just think it takes so much for a woman to come forward. Like, what does she have to gain by lying about that? Is my thought. Like, why would a woman risk like ruining her own life, people not believing her, if it wasn't true? That's my thought.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of ways to look at it. And there's a lot of answers to that question too. Everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. And if she's aligned with the Democratic Party somehow, who knows? Okay. I tend to believe that something happened. I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think both of them had credible testimony. And I thought they were both made their cases, you know, they seemed like they believed what they were saying. Okay. Now there's a big outcry. I was like, well, do we want someone on the bench who's got that kind of range of reactions? Like, he's not acting judicial. You remember, you know, how people were saying that? He got so angry and he got so emotional. Yeah, but he's not going to be presiding over himself
Right.
on the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? Like, he's defending his life. On the Supreme Court, you're not defending your life. You can make a rational, impartial decision. So I don't think that she's lying. I don't think he's lying. I think that after 30 years of like, fucking think about this. In high school, teenagers, drunk and unsupervised. I bet you I crossed a line or two in those days.
And that's why
Right.
you shouldn't be a judge.
That's exactly what I was just going to
Yeah.
say, which is why you should never run for or be appointed.
No,
to the
because
Supreme
here's
Court.
what I was thought about on the fucking, if I was in his position and it may be a career killer or a career winner, I would say, look, I honestly have no recollection of this happening, but I will admit to drinking at unsupervised parties. And is it within the realm of possibility? I will concede that it is within the realm of possibility. I have no recollection. I'm sorry that you're suffering. I'm sorry that I've put anybody through anything. It was never my intention. In high school, those are the years you learn the boundaries and the rules and how to make mistakes and grow from them and become a better person. And I'll make it my mission if you elect me to the court to stand for rights and women's rights and blah, blah, blah. And this is as close of an apology as he could make. And still maintain he doesn't remember it. Why doesn't somebody just speak from the fucking heart?
But when does
No
that?
one does
That's
that.
the point. Why didn't he just do that?
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't he just do
The fact
that?
of like, you know, sorry, Dan.
No,
let me just get this.
no, please.
The fact of like, you know, I like beer. Do you like beer, Senator? I'm asking you if you like beer. And like, it does matter. I don't want that guy. I get the point you're making that when you're fighting for your own life, your reactions might be different, but there's 9 of those positions, and they only come up very seldomly because
Right.
it's a lifetime appointment.
I'm not making a case for him
No,
being
I know.
put through. I'm just
saying,
talking
like,
about the allegations.
That right there, whether it happened or not, me as a citizen of this country is like, fuck that guy. I don't want him making decisions.
Yeah.
When out of the millions of people that could fill that position, I don't want this guy who's getting unhinged because it is him on the.
You know what else is crazy if you think about it? Because there's this whole division between the popular and the electoral votes issue. You know, like Hillary got the popular vote. She should be okay. We do away with the electoral college. The person with the most votes wins. And Supreme Court nominees should be voted on by the American public.
The same way president is.
Exactly.
Aren't we the only country too that gives them like that they can stay on until they die?
It's till death.
It's so not the way we do anything else, which is so weird.
I know, like, why can't they just serve like 20 years or something?
I also feel like you're talking about like doing stuff in high school, but where's the cutoff? Because there's claims of him doing stuff in college and law school.
Okay, well, I don't know about that, but I would say in high school that you're a juvenile.
Right.
So his interaction with Ford is her name?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's high school. That's juvenile stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything else about the other allegations. That's all. I'm just talking about this round of testimony.
Okay.
And like, I'd be pissed off too, and I'd be crying too, and I'd be bummed out too. You know, this is like, I feel, here's what I think. I think she probably believes something happened. Maybe something did happen. I believe that she reached out to the people above to try and make an allegation. I believe that Senator Feinstein had it for that month or two or however long she had it, and blah, blah, blah. And all that stuff aside, I still believe the Dems held it for this political point.
From what they say, she also asked for them not to make it public. She just wanted them to know about it. And she didn't want it to go public.
Yeah, but if you're in a position too, if you're a woman that something had happened to years and years ago, and then just taking out all of the political part of it, and then you hear, well, this guy is going to run for probably more important role than the president of the United States as far as length and time and policy and lawmaking and all that. Even if you never said anything for 20 years, that might be the moment of, I'm putting my fucking foot down. No way.
Well, that's what seems to be what happened.
Yeah.
Right, but if she didn't want it to be public, why would she leave a paper trail to someone in Congress? Or
so they could fight on her behalf and try to do whatever they could to keep him out without going public until it was time to actually.
But they knew as soon as they had it, they knew they were going public.
Probably, you're probably right.
I think
it's a move.
I think as liberal as I am, I don't see
it's a game.
That party being squeaky clean on all fronts. Yep. I just don't.
Yep.
You know, I think they've had this information for a long time and they're using it. And if you want to talk about trauma and damaging a victim, they're compounding it with the timing for the accuser, you know, because now it's under 50 more spotlights than it would have been if it was just dealt with at the time that they found out, and then he wouldn't have even been put up.
I was going to ask, do you think if it came out 2 months ago, 3 months ago, that they would have just found someone else to nominate?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yep.
But they want to scramble and get the primary over with so then they can control, because they have a way to control that. You know, if they get the House, then they get to pick who's...
We are in such a crazy place.
I hate it. I love it and hate it, but all at the same time.
I don't love it at all.
But for me, like right, wrong, happened, didn't happen. Like to me, I view this thing as, well, I got a chance to see what this guy's like, and I didn't like what I saw. No. Total court of public opinion for me.
He's a frat boy. He was so frat
whether
boy.
They held it for political purposes or gain or wait. Just on my own personal note level.
He didn't pass the smell test when you look at him.
I'm like, fuck this guy.
And she did to me. I also think there's a chance that he did this, but doesn't remember doing it.
That's what I believe.
That could be valid.
That he was that much of a partier.
That's what I believe. I believe that he did something. Look.
Because you're saying he did seem believable to me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think if you were to ask me in 1982, me and Stephen Perkins were at a party drinking.
Gang raped a chick. It happens, dude.
First of all, I blacked out all the time back in those days.
Yeah. Well
into my 20s. You know? I've woken up places and not known where I was.
I think we've all done that.
That's my point.
I've said shit to you we talked about last week. You don't remember.
That's right. But I'm just saying my point is, now when it goes into these collegiate allegations that you're talking about, which I don't know about.
Like shaking his dick in a chick's face and trying to like touch his dick on a girl's face. And then there.
Oh, whoa!
I have allegations left and right I can make.
I know.
Which is
I
why
thought you-
People's
that was
dicks that
gonna-
have been in my face.
I thought that was going to shift your perspective on the guy. No, he's great.
No, it was.
It's like, oh, wait a minute.
It makes me think I have a case.
I'm going to vote for this guy. Against me?
Yeah, remember that time you were putting your dick in my pocket?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Tell that story.
I'm not.
What about the time on the bus multiple times? Where,
There's something.
What
No,
about-
this is a story we want to
Well,
hear.
it wasn't sexual. It was just a dick in a pocket.
how about the 5 or 6 times I've been eating at the table on the
Oh,
bus
boy.
and I turn and your dick is on my arm, like rubbing my elbow.
That has never happened.
It has happened. Your little Mexican worm all over my elbow.
It is not a worm. Let's make it very clear. I believe there's some questions that came into the Dark Matter crew.
On a whole nother topic?
Yeah. And
It's actually just people coming forward against you. Do you want to talk about it? It's a long list. Let me get to these. Let's take a break. I'll compile them together.
doesn't Dark Matter crew have a question?
I know Jess might have some emails.
Who's got the IG for Dark Matter crew?
I do, but there's no questions in there.
Yeah, there should be.
Oh.
Did you send some in?
No, I just heard that someone was inquiring.
Dave, I have video of you. Oh, you don't want to hear this one. Wow, you're in trouble, dude.
Am I really?
Someone's got video of you doing some crazy shit.
Who doing what?
I don't know, but you're going to jail for a long time.
Putting your dicks.
You can't play that game with me. What is the question that came
There's
in?
no question.
I sent a fucking question.
Oh, you're on the Instagram?
Yeah.
No one sends questions on Instagram. Let me get to it.
I direct message.
Hold on, ask me again. Ask me again if there's a question.
Is there a question on the Dark Matter crew?
Let me check here real quick. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, this comes. I'm not going to say the name, but
right.
Oh shit. Is Dave's cock really as massive as we've all heard so much over the years?
Oh God, how embarrassing!
I could tell you.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
How do you want to answer this, Dave?
God, it's just to put me on the spot.
You don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
You do, though. You are under oath. Let me remind you,
a
sir, that
little
you are under oath.
I feel a little objectified. Wow. I mean, I don't know what you consider massive. I don't know.
I like the question.
It's just a game of perception.
Is it really as massive as
As
we've
if
all
it's-
heard so much over the years?
As the folklore goes, you mean?
You've hurt some girls
Yeah.
because it's so big.
This came in from Jess, by
That's
the way.
my next documentary, The Hunt for Dave's
I'm
massive
curious.
cock.
I was curious.
It's gonna be a short, isn't it?
Oh, hey.
Get it? All right.
So dumb.
The answer to the question is, I haven't had any complaints.
Okay.
That's fair enough, right? It's humble.
Can neither
But-
confirm nor deny.
I can confirm nor deny.
But that's a bummer. Don't you want complaints? Like an ow or a it's hurting me a little bit?
Believe me, it does. It's not great when you hear that.
I heard an ow once.
No, you didn't.
I heard an ow once.
Yeah, but she rolled
And-
over
no,
onto
no.
something.
It poked her in the eyeball.
Let me finish this.
A nail in her back.
Oh God, you guys just killed my joke.
Oh, go ahead. What was
I was
it?
gonna say I heard an ow once, and I got all happy and was smiling. She's like, "No, you're on my hair."
Oh.
You guys just
Dave didn't
stole
like
the
that joke.
punchline.
Good one, T.
Yeah, well, it would have been good.
One joke, order up.
Fuck you and your tiny cock.
What are you talking about?
And I'll tell you why I can discredit that myth. Because the pocket
Todd coming in with a zinger.
we're talking about was my shirt front pocket on a flannel. So if it could fit in there,
Yeah.
It was one that he got at a
big and tall
big and
shop.
tall store because he went through a phase where he was wearing like real
Massive.
drapey stuff.
My-
He
it was
wore
my
it
hip-hop
open.
phase.
Yeah, he wore it open, and it was a pocket. You could have fit 8 of your dicks in it.
Of
Fit a couple of Christmas
One of yours,
hams
8
in
of
there.
mine.
That's right.
Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah, you could fit 8 of Dan's in there.
You could fit 20 of my breasts in there.
Stack them flat
Yep.
like a pallet of Jess's tits.
A Rolodex of Jess's tits.
Rolodex is 2 contacts.
It's like when you stack coasters.
What are you?
I was talking about the thinness of the cards.
Oh yeah.
It's like wholesale Costco chicken cutlets.
And look
Exactly.
at Darren just smiling back there, like knowing he has the biggest cock in the room.
Yeah.
Although I think you
I don't
might have a
know.
little competition.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Other people in the studio tonight.
Why do you suppose that gentleman happens to have a black cock?
Well, he has black cock. Well, based on I'm assuming that the color of his skin is pretty much around the same hue as
Why
his
would you
cock.
assume that black dude has a black cock?
What makes you so sure that he has a black cock?
Darren, is your cock black?
You don't know that he doesn't have a vitiligo situation happening.
We
on
don't
just
know that.
Wait,
Yeah.
what does vitiligo
It's
mean?
the Michael Jackson cock thing.
It's where the skin
pigment.
loses pigment.
I have that. Mine is like almost clear.
Translucent cock.
He just veins and like infrastructure.
Yeah, exactly.
Gross.
See
It
through to
looks
the
So we see at
outside.
Body Worlds when
Yeah,
you
it's
just see.
It's like the Invisible Man when
Yes.
you can get for Science Lab, where
Yeah.
it's like half of it is you can see. The,
but it's just
Is it
my
like
dick.
a fishbowl where you look in and the rocks look really big?
It like magnifies
It
it.
gets magnified.
that's the only way my dick will look big is inside a
fishbowl?
a hairless dick.
A clear, hairless dick.
Right, because it'll create a magnifying effect. Bro, I gotta write that down as an idea.
Bro,
Note to self: get clear dick.
what color's your cock?
It's black. We
black.
knew it.
Oh, it's so racist of you to assume
We
that.
should have put money on it.
What a racist.
I would have put all my money on that black guy having a black dick. Every penny I have, I would have bet on that.
Are you so happy you're here for this?
That's like the time I said to you ever suck a man's dick?
What was that?
As opposed to,
As opposed
Wait,
to
who did you
not-
say that to?
on the radio. I said it.
yeah,
It was because
it was one of his best lines.
you were in the gym and you were in the locker room and you were telling me you came out and you were like, bro, I just had a weird experience in there. I go, what happened? Like you looked like you saw a ghost, like you were scared a little. And you came out and you're like, some guy was just hanging around and like he had a huge fucking dick. So I like made a joke. I'm like, hey, you want to see a doctor? You might want to see a doctor about that thing or something like that. And you were like, he got all in your face like and grabbed it and he was like, yeah, you ever suck a dick like that? Like, and you felt all
Oh,
violent.
yeah. I got violated.
Yeah, yes.
I have a claim.
Yeah,
No, because you
violent.
started it.
yeah, you
No,
started.
I said, hey, whoa, you want to see a doctor about that thing?
That's starting it. You opened the door
That's
for
a
abuse.
compliment.
But I said it to you on the radio. And
Darren, if somebody said that to you in the locker room about your dick in a joking manner, you would take it as a compliment, correctly? Right?
or as a sign of I'm gonna make this guy suck my dick
Yeah,
right
my
now.
big old dick.
What part are you hearing? That it's a compliment or that I want to suck a man's dick? Compliment. That's
Either
what
way, well, the way the story went,
it's a trick question because there is no wrong answer.
It's a win-win for everybody.
so I said it to you, and I said, "You ever suck a man's dick on the radio?" And you guys jumped all over me. What I meant by it was a real man's dick,
Instead of a female's dick.
not just a man's dick.
Boy, I bet Jeremy Corbell's fans are real glad they tuned in.
Soaking wet right
This
now.
is the
This is
show
the
he's
setup
coming on.
for the UFOs.
My paranormal cock.
God damn.
James Corden is coming in.
Yeah, the creator of that late night talk show.
The English fella.
Yeah, he's great.
He can sing as well.
He
He's
knows
at-
everybody.
Oh, so that's what they mean by he's out of this world.
Oh, that's right. He's
Right, okay.
fantastic.
It's just so stupid.
God, this guy created the chicken cordon bleu.
Chicken Korbel Blue.
Yeah.
And the Metallica wrote a song about him, which is For Whom Korbel Tolls.
Okay.
Yep.
And aren't there Korbel game hens also?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
You know the little ones
Cornish-
where you get the whole body? It's like
Cornish
Auschwitz
game
comes to your
bells.
fucking plate.
He's also in a band,
Oh, is that right?
Korbel and Sebastian.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I'll certainly look forward to talking to him about that. What are some of your influences there, James?
Besides chicken.
He'll be there with Korbels on.
I forgot about Dan and his chicken fetish.
I really do have one.
No chicken or out of chicken?
Every time I go to dinner, Dave's like, would you have chicken? And that's always yes.
Yeah.
Every single night you eat chicken?
You know what he called you?
A little piece of chicken.
Little piece of chicken. That's what he called you.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
It's only
Taxi
it's
Driver.
one of the world's most famous, important films of
I don't care for it.
all time.
Don't care
Probably
for it.
never saw it. It's okay.
Probably never.
He
saw
is
it.
the worst sucking scum there is.
Have you seen Taxi Driver?
Yeah, I have.
You have?
Yes.
He hasn't
multiple
seen
times. I just
Raging
don't remember
Bull.
that. I've never seen Raging Bull.
Man, this is really tough tonight, man. This mic is killing me.
You want to take a break and stretch your back a little bit? What?
You never saw Raging Bull?
No, and I've invited him over to watch it.
Oh, I would love to be there if you see that. Actually, my house is now set up for very comfortable movie watching.
When was it not?
Yeah, I was just going to say
The
that.
couches were too far apart, so I moved the middle section together, and so now it's just two. It's like two lazy boys.
Do you still have a low back couch? It's kind of low back.
Kind of low, but you can set the pillows so they're higher.
Okay.
Do you have a high back couch?
Yeah.
It's a way to go.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
Oh, but our couch sucks.
It does, but I fucked up.
Yeah.
I really want like one of those Sofa Factory ones where like each individual thing leans back. Like
It's
that's
a couch of lazy boys.
That's what men want.
Yes, 100%.
I'm never
get
going to be
yourself
able to. I'm never going to be able to talk her into that.
Talk who?
The girl who helps me shop.
Oh, really?
Oh, never.
But it's your money. Just
Yeah.
get one. Just go on the
She's
website
gonna
and
be
buy one
Kelsey
for
go
$1,000.
order it.
Yeah,
But she's
that's right.
like, but this one's from Italy and it cost $7 million.
And I get 20%
Yeah, I want-
commission.
She's gotten the commission off of that.
And I want
Yeah.
the $239 special from fucking
Bernie and Phil's discount bin.
sit and sleep.
Have Korbel
You
get
know?
you,
You-
like a space
Jennifer
You-
convertibles.
You want a
That's
couch?
where I
my
want.
God.
You want
That's where I want to go.
You want a couch that comes with end tables.
Goddamn right, with a cup holder on it. Yes.
Yes.
Let's film you going into a Jennifer
That would
convertibles
be
and
good.
laying on
Living
some-
spaces, one of those kind of places.
Yes. 100%.
I had one of those recliners that had like the side thing with the fucking.
It's great.
It had a phone with a jack, and this is before cell phones, and it had the cup holder and a little thing that you could put up to put food on and all that. Like the first thing that my wife did when we moved in together when she was my girl, she's like, "That is done."
And you stayed.
Yeah, that's the hell my life has
Women
been
make a
since.
lot of executive decisions like that.
No, but
Not even
because she
that.
knew that the chair was competition. She's not stupid. It was the
Not
chair
even-
versus her.
But not even that. Not only did she get rid of that chair that he loved and was comfortable and worked, but the sofa they have now
Is the worst?
is worse than mine.
Is
If
it?
you want to talk about low backs, oh yeah, it looks killer.
Right.
Yeah,
But there's
I agree.
one sweet spot. If you get
It's a corner. It's got to be a corner.
It's a corner.
Yeah, yeah.
If you get that corner, you're set for life. If you're a guest
True.
and there's like 10 people watching TV,
You clamor to that.
I just go right upstairs
Right.
and lay in bed.
Right. So that's
You excuse yourself for the evening.
so the section of your couch that's low like that. That's the section of my couch that I got rid of.
Right.
You saw it, I think.
Yeah.
Who gets the sweet spot in your couch, Todd? Who owns
Kids.
that?
Jeremy Corbell.
Oh, we're very good to our guests.
Now, do people call the sweet spot, or do you like? Is it dad's spot? Like, how does? 'Cause
Nah,
every
you know
time
what?
I come over there, I gravitate towards the sweet spot.
Well, that's very you to do.
We're at the point.
Yeah.
You just sit there. Like,
wow.
yeah.
You're a prick, is what I'm. I mean, it's not like.
Just right across the wire. This is coming in. Sorry, guys, got to cut you off.
That's a lot of bells.
Yeah. And why are all these in the
Is this
studio?
for our guest? In honor of our guest?
Well, they were dome-shaped, silver dome-shaped objects. And why does
Why do they all move like this?
Every time you disagree with
I
him, ding
I
it.
have another question for him about interviewees. Will you write that down? Interviewee, and write down
Is that like issuey?
paranormal technology.
Getting all interviewee on me.
Shut up, Todd.
You shut the fuck up.
What technology?
Paranormal. Shut up.
I know what you're going to ask.
I love that we do that now.
Shut the fuck up.
Just shut up.
I do that with my kids.
Well, they
They'll
should
start
learn to shut up.
talking, Dad, this and that and this, and I just look at them. I go, you know what? Shut the fuck up.
That's my wife's least. That's the one thing I can say to her that drives her, gets her
Shut
angry.
up?
Yeah, like she does a thing where if I'm on the phone, she'll like chime in a lot while I'm on the phone, and I'll be shut up for a minute, and she gets really upset about
It
that.
takes it really offensively.
But I'm not trying to be mean. I just want her to stop her.
You just
mouth
want her to
moving.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's like, let me have this moment. I can handle my own conversations.
Dan, in his old age, has gotten very OCD about his phone usage and time. And
Have?
oh yeah,
What do you mean?
How do you mean?
Dan can't do the thing. You know, when we're at lunch, and this is not a critique, nor is it in any way a put down.
He's like,
It's
I've already
just-
sent 7 texts this month. I can't send anymore.
What? No,
Nothing.
I'm just trying to point out a difference of individuals. There's no right or wrong way. But you know how like we're having lunch and I get a text, I respond to it, and then it'll come back and I'll just kind of have a conversation. If you text Dan during lunch, he'll say, "Call you back. I'm having lunch,"
Right.
which is, I think, a good. That's how it should be. I wish I was more like that. Now, the reason I bring it up is, did you make a concerted effort to be like that, to be more in the moment?
Yes.
When did that happen? And why?
I don't remember when it happened, but it just
Because I noticed it and I was like, that's really that's healthy boundary setting.
Yep.
That's still, you're still getting back to the person so they don't feel like, what the fuck? And you do return the call. So when did that happen and how?
I actually think it came from my first job at.
It is black too.
Dude. I think it came from my first job when people would say, I was working a cash register at CVS, and if someone calls on the phone, always be more concerned with the customer in front of you. And it carried over to like, if I'm with people. be
Right,
more
but it's
concerned with
something
the
that
person.
showed up about this year.
I don't think so.
I've never had you explain what you're doing and then...
Well, I don't like to ignore people. I don't like it. I wouldn't just like if you're calling, I don't want to ignore it. I'd rather just
Yeah,
send
I
you the
don't either.
voicemail and explain why I sent you the voicemail.
Right.
You know?
I think it's something that we could all benefit from, is that kind of behavior.
That's also one of the things that you were taught that doesn't apply anymore, and it drives me fucking crazy when you go into a store and they're on the phone.
Yeah.
And you're just standing there.
Like, I'm right in front of you, motherfucker.
Yeah, like just fucking say hold to them, or just even do both.
Acknowledge
I'm fine
me.
with
Yeah,
doing
acknowledge.
both.
Just acknowledge me
Yep.
and I'll be happy. God damn it.
Shut
up. I'm excited about having Jeremy Corbell in here. I have some hard-hitting questions.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a skeptic because I'm skeptical.
I like it though. You need the proof.
Turns you on a little bit, doesn't it?
It does.
But Dave doesn't coddle to, I don't kowtow to anybody
No.
just because of the guests.
You stand on your own.
Kowtow. Is that what the word is?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
I'm not sure. How do you spell that?
I don't know.
Oh, let's look it up.
COWTOW.
I got a
might
fever,
be right.
and the only prescription
More kowtow.
is more Korbel. Kowtow.
It's KOWTOW. To grovel, to be obsequious, to servile, sycophantic, to fawn over.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm not going to kowtow to this motherfucker. I'll tell you that right now.
Say that to him as soon as he walks through the door.
Listen,
Yeah, I'm not taking you to Cowtown.
pal, before we go to our guest,
I thought that's what happens to those cows in those fields.
They go to
They go
Cowtown.
to Cowtown.
you wanted to get into something tonight.
What's that? What's that?
You
What's
wanted to
that?
talk about this unreleased Chili Pepper song
Oh, yeah. God, I forgot all about that.
called Circle of the Noose.
That is right.
Do we want to play some of it?
Yeah, you want to play a little of it?
And then, no, you can YouTube it. We could probably talk over it too because it's unreleased.
Interestingly, yeah, it's unreleased. An unreleased Chili Peppers track that I did. It was the last thing we recorded together. It was after One Hot Minute came out. And we went into the studio to see how we were feeling musically.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to get it up? Because
He can find it. He's capable.
okay. That doesn't appear to
I'm
me.
just not getting. Oh, there it is. I wasn't getting Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Let's talk over it lowly.
Okay, so Circle of the Noose. Like a hang noose.
So this is 98?
No.
No, 95 or something
I
like
don't
that?
know. It's crazy.
I'm sure an ad's going to play first. All right.
And a lot of people have been asking me about this song because I guess it was unearthed recently or like a year or two ago. Nice, right?
Is that you and Flea? Is that bass in the back?
That's bass and guitar.
Do you remember doing this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Does it go louder? Okay, so we won't play the whole thing because it's obviously... Now, this is a guide vocal. So what that means is when we're recording the song, the singer sings along so we know where we are in the song, but he's not really
Giving
singing
it his all.
He's just kind of marking the space.
Okay.
So that's what that vocal is. That's not him. He had yet to do it. You see,
Waiting for Beinhorn to come in.
he had nothing to do with this.
No, I know.
Who did this?
This is Rick Rubin,
Oh,
but this isn't even mixed because it wasn't finished.
just an abandoned
Yeah,
song.
it was just abandoned.
Weirdly, this might be one of the Chili Pepper songs that I kind of dig. Because I'm not a huge fan.
Right, but it's
There's some coolness to this.
a really cool, like, weird hippie vibe to it. And so basically what was going on at that time is Flea had done a soundtrack for Basketball Diaries, I believe, and asked me to play on guitar on it, and I did. And we just enjoyed like playing bass and acoustic guitar together. So this was towards the end before I left the band, and we weren't sure if we were going to be a band or what we were going to do. And Flea had this little thing on guitar, and I said, let's do that song. And we were like, yeah. So we went in and tracked it, and it came out great. We were all really stoked on how it sounded. We just wanted Anthony to sing it. Turn it up. There's a little guitar work that's very strange sounding. It's not very me sounding.
It's not very Chili Pepper sounding either,
No.
which is kind of neat. This is you. That's very you.
That sounds a lot like me.
Yeah. That's very you too.
I guess it is very, very me sounding. Anyway, so my memory. When have you ever heard me play that kind of shit? Shit like this.
I like this song.
Just so, like down home rock and roll guitar licks.
It's like this is your guy's Skinnerd song or some shit. So what happened with this? Why didn't it come out?
I don't know why it didn't come out, but we broke up soon after that.
Or you left the band.
Well, so what happened was
We never really talked about why you actually left the band.
the actual truthful reasons are as follows, and why I held a grudge for many years until I got some perspective. Is that when we were doing One Hot Minute, I don't think it's any secret that Anthony experimented with drugs in the past.
Mm-hmm.
He put out a whole book about it.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not outing him. But during the writing and recording of One Hot Minute, he would go missing for weeks. And he would just go check into a hotel. We wouldn't know where he is.
Which you can relate to, of course.
Which I can completely relate to. And I've done that many times myself. So many times we didn't know if we had a singer. We didn't know if he was alive. We didn't know what we were doing. We were held up for months, very inconvenienced, blah, 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 blah. That's what happens when you're in this business and you work with people on drugs. I've been through it before. I hate to say it, but it's kind of like rock star tax. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to wait for the guy to get his shit together to do your thing. So he was kind of out missing. He was back and forth, and we did the record. And then And then I believe we did this track months later, but I do know that then after this, before we finished this, Flea joined us for the Jane's Addiction tour. And for me, there was the second I got into the rehearsal room for a Jane's Addiction tour, it was like, this would be so much better on heroin. Like immediately. Like I walked in the door, I was like, oh my God, we got to have heroin instead. Instead of mineral water. This is bullshit. So me and Perry kind of stepped aside and was like, do you have the guy? I got the guy. Okay, let's get the guy. So
Was Perry also sober at this moment or off of heroin? Do you know?
At the time, he was not sober. I don't,
Okay.
This was, fucking 20.
96, 97.
Yeah, it's like 97. So, so he and I get high, and then Perkins just sees it like, oh no, this is, here we go again. And then we went on tour with Flea, and that was one of the most epic Jane's Addiction tours, and one of the most exciting, one of the most decadent, certainly one of the most drug-fueled on my part. I've never been that open and out and blatant and obvious about it, and dangerous and disgusting as well about
Is
it.
that when the 3 Days movie was done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the footage that's in Morning Sun is
Right.
that
Yeah.
period.
That's some
yes.
wild shit.
Yeah. So I was really, but it was still kind of a great fucking tour. Anyway, so we come back from that, and Flea had a really traumatic experience on that because he loved the music, he loved playing with us, but he didn't love that, and he had a couple of guys to deal with, but I was definitely the worst. And I was in his band. He's watching me go down the same road he watched Hillel go down.
And his own singer, in a way.
That's right, but
Right.
they already lost a guitar
Right,
player
right.
to this. So we come back from the Jane's tour, and somehow I just never come off tour. I just never come off tour. I don't unpack. I keep getting high the same. I go live in the Argyle Hotel for a couple of months, and got really bad. Then I finally showed up for a Chili Peppers rehearsal, and we had a tour booked, and I honestly couldn't play a fucking note. And Anthony talks about it in his book where I fell. I mean, I literally tripped into stacks of speakers and storage gear and whatever. Like I fell into a bunch of boxes basically. And it was like pretty clear that I wasn't going to be able to get it together. And so they decided to go a different direction. And John was clean and wanted to get back in the band. Now, I was pissed about it. I was really pissed about it. Having John come back made it feel better. It stung less.
At least you're being replaced by the guy.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. But what pissed me off about it, and what I'm now clearly not pissed off about it, is I'm like, so you tell me I fucking wait around for 6 months for your guy to clean up, but you guys can't wait a week for me to get my shit together. I got you.
Right.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. So my career was on hold waiting for him to get clean, but I don't get a second chance.
A double standard.
Yeah. That's how I felt about it at the time. Now, 20 years have gone by, and I'm like, well, the guy that I'm talking about started the fucking thing, for starters. He's got fucking 10 plus records out with them already. You know what I mean? Like, they're stuck. That's the guy. You know what I mean? And so, like, of course I'm not given that same latitude. That's me looking back as an adult with some distance, but it took me a long time to get over that, because I was like, it wasn't that I was pissed that I wasn't in the band, and it wasn't that I was pissed that I was even replaced. Actually, I was stoked that it was John that came back. I was just pissed about the double standard thing.
Did you voice that to them?
I voiced it to Flea for sure, and Flea was like, I understand, but this is Anthony. He's the voice and the leader of the band, and blah 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 blah. And he's like, he's like, you said it yourself. We don't jive musically. And I remember on the conversation, I said, what about that last jam we just came up with?
He was saying that you and Flea don't jive musically?
Well, he and I both had, at separate times, had moments where we fucking crushed it musically and moments where we just didn't line up musically.
Right.
Mainly in the funk area, that was not my space.
Which they are primarily a very funk heavy band.
Especially at the time. Now they're playing more straight up songs, but at the time, heavily funk influenced. And so on that, like if you think about the spectrum of music as being like a color palette that changes from color to color, we met in the center of it, right? But he went all the way down to the left to the reds, and I went all the way down to the violets. You know what I mean? In terms of our likes, we didn't like the whole rainbow, but we both liked a section of the rainbow.
Right?
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Make sense. So he was certainly into punk. Certainly into punk like I was, but he was into funk bands. He was into Parliament. I was into the punk and all those things. I could generate that kind of attitude, but I was more into the goth bands, which those guys don't want to hear anything about. But yeah, so that's the story of the song, and I don't know how it came to be, because I certainly didn't have it. I wondered what happened with it, but it just showed up.
They always come out at some point.
Showed up on the internet.
I'm waiting for everyone. I mean, people know that when Eric came back into the band with Janes, that you guys recorded a couple songs. One of them was finished. I imagine that will come out at some point. Someone will leak it somewhere.
I should go home and look for it.
I have it.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
In there?
I think I do.
Let me see.
Bust it out.
Play it.
Don't play the whole thing.
No, I'm not going.
but
Let me see if I have it. I think I have it in an email.
On your thing. Yeah.
Do you know if the Peppers, if they had a band meeting about getting rid of you?
I would assume they did.
But ultimately, if Anthony wanted it, it would that would be the case.
Oh, no. I'm not saying it was his choice. I'm saying.
Oh, that's what it sounded like.
No. What I was saying was the collective choice to not give me another chance after we just waited for 6 months for another guy. That's the part that I had a problem with.
Right.
But, excuse me, looking back, I don't.
It's always so interesting to hear the stories within the band, because you don't realize, as like a fan, I mean, you know that there's probably politics, but you have no idea like the inner workings of what's going on.
Yeah, well, it is like being in a intimate relationship with 3 or 4 other people. It's just not sexual, but it's all as much intimate.
I don't think I realized that until I saw that documentary with Metallica, Some Kind of Monster, of like them sitting down for therapy and like how intense it was. And
that movie is the most true thing I've ever seen. Whether you've been in a band for a week or 20
watch
years,
that again.
It's great. It's pretty
fantastic.
Great.
Yeah, I've only seen it once.
Pretty awesome. And I don't. There's people in there that I don't like because of it, but it's an awesome movie.
Probably the same guy that most people don't like.
Do you
Really?
think?
Yeah.
Why don't people like him?
See, you know what I'm talking about.
I definitely know who you're talking about.
Because we're speaking about Lars, and he comes off as a super pretentious, smarter than everyone. Maybe he is sophisticated, but pretends to be very sophisticated and opinionated, and
Even both of them, to me. Him
James
and
as well?
They both, to me, I was like, eh.
James didn't seem that way as much to me. He seems like a guy who was going through some shit.
Well, it tripped me out when he didn't want them to work on music when he wasn't
That's what
there.
I'm talking about.
I was like, fuck that.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kirk,
I mean,
Kirk is the cool. He's like, now you know how I felt for fucking the last 20 years.
No, the coolest dude in there is Jason Newsted. The guy who's not part of it. He came off cooler than anybody. He's like,
really
you guys don't want me to have my own band? Fuck you. I'm out then. I'll take
my go check him out, and there's a bunch of like Metallica road crew working for his new band.
I'll take my 60
like,
mil
hey,
and bounce.
That guy works anyway.
That's a great movie.
Here's a question. Getting back to that, do you think that the guys in the Chili Peppers were ever threatened by the stories of your massive cock?
That might have ultimately been leaked out and really been the impetus for, is that the right word?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Impotent.
It might have been the impetus to this whole dilemma if I just kind of kept that to myself.
Yeah, you see? You wanted to go bragging about it all high. Look at my big cock.
Again, I take full responsibility.
If you don't want a huge dick on the stage, I'll just bounce, fellas.
But the problem is
I just keep shooting up. It makes my dick as big as your guys' is. It keeps it down.
the problem was they couldn't find a sock to fit over my
true.
genitalia.
Yeah.
I got fired.
You had to use a pillowcase
Fair
on
enough.
yours.
Thank God he wasn't around when we took that Abbey Road style picture.
I can't believe that hasn't become my stock answer as to
You
why.
couldn't find a
Now
sock
it
big
can
enough.
be.
Now it is.
Yeah, I got the stock answer from this conversation. So
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
it.
Let's
Appreciate
get down
it.
to brass tacks. Now we know why you left.
The real
Right.
reason I left, I got asked to leave, is because they couldn't find a sock that would fit me.
And those boxes, the stacks that you tripped into, was tripping over
That's
your
right.
own cock. That's what you got to add. See, that's why I'm a writer. I like to punch up
It's
things.
true that in his book he mentions I tripped over boxes, but what he left out were they were boxes of socks that were too small to fit on my cock.
And now we
That
know.
they tried different brands, different sizes. They tried everything. They ordered them from all over the world.
I even heard they had the wardrobe girl try to make custom ones.
They had a seamstress.
and they couldn't get enough material for it.
They had a seamstress, but the problem is with the seamstress is that she has to do it flaccid,
Right.
take the measurements, and I'm a shower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's that big when it's soft.
It's the same size small that, or I mean, soft.
No.
that it is hard.
You know, some people say you're a grower,
Yeah.
and some people oh no, I'm a grower. Okay, that's what it is. I'm a grower. So it is as massive as we're talking about, but when I'm not aroused, it actually shrinks down to like the size of a peanut.
a micro penis.
Yeah.
An 8-inch peanut, though.
No, it's like it
Just the size of Mr. Peanut. It
looks like
the
a-
actual guy.
No. Like
He's
this,
got a
like
cane.
this big. Yeah. Like an inch and a half.
Stick has a little monocle and a cane.
No, there's no monocle. Stop
and a,
that.
and a peanut outfit.
Don't get upset. He's just
I'm
making a
being
joke. right?
vulnerable. There's no cane.
Vulnerable.
No,
There's
it's
no
like
top hat.
Shut up.
it's a peanut shaped thing that has the same texture because the skin kind of crinkles around.
Crinkles.
Well,
Well, wouldn't
'cause
it be like a
when you
reverse
have your
peanut
skin all
then?
stretched out and then you let all that stretch out go, it crinkles in on itself.
Let all the stretch out.
Yeah.
All the
Let all the stretch out go.
So I'm just saying that the seamstress was of no help.
Is it true that they
Clearly.
called it D-Nav's clit when it was soft? Is that true?
I want to.
We don't have to go into it.
I don't want to. That you're hitting close to the heart there with that one.
I'm sorry. Should we take a break and
I think those wounds are too fresh.
get our guest in here?
Yes. We'll be back.
For whom Korbel tolls?
We'll be back after this.
Yeah, I heard all that dark matter radio and all that bullshit. That's bullshit.
All right, we are back.
Todd, I was wrong.
What?
We are not joined tonight by James Corden, who
No.
I thought was a little weird. It was a guest anyway for us.
When he came in and he spoke with an American accent, it threw me too.
I was like, "What's it like talking to other people? Like, what do you ask that guy?" That would be the most boring interview ever, right? So you talk to people a lot, huh? No, it's Jeremy Corbell. Welcome to the program, man. Can you hear okay?
Oh, hell yeah. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me on.
So, Jeremy, you are the director and I would imagine creator of Hunt for the Skinwalker.
That's right. That's the movie that's out right now.
And tell our listeners a little bit what this documentary is about.
Sure. So this documentary is about the most scientifically studied paranormal hotspot in human history. It was studied both by private industry, by an aerospace billionaire who's put inhabitable space, habitats on the International Space Station, Robert Bigelow, to our Defense Intelligence Agency.
Okay, so that part about him is provable.
Yeah, actually, a lot of this is provable, Dave. You're gonna like this, dude. Let's fucking get into this.
No. So tell them it's a paranormal hotspot for entities, for ghosts, for UFOs,
Whatever you call them, I don't even know.
cattle mutilation.
Can I say fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know what
Say whatever the fuck you want.
is going on there, but I'll tell you this. The Department of Defense studied this through the Pentagon, through the Defense Intelligence Agency for multiple years to try to figure out what is occurring at Skinwalker Ranch on the property.
Right.
From UFOs to poltergeist-like activity.
Do you see that, Dan? Mm-hmm. So he's saying it's true because the government
No.
spent a lot of money willy-nilly.
Aha!
That's not what I
Because the government always spends their money wisely.
Oh, let's go. Listen, we spent
And
more
also,
money on Viagra than we did on this study.
If there's evidence and the government knows and they have the the Bob Lazar sports model hidden away at S4 or whatever the fuck it is, right? If they know all that stuff and they had the Majestic 12 and they brought the the Project Paperclip guys over here to rebuild the fucking, reverse engineer and all that stuff. If they have all that, why do they need to study some building where maybe something might happen or not?
Okay, let's slow down. First of all, Dave Navarro is flexing on me. He's telling me all of this shit he knows about UFOs, and it's amazing. I am impressed that you threw this. I mean, that's amazing. But check it out. That's not what I'm saying, and let's backtrack just a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
And also, let me just tell our listeners that Jeremy and I are totally cool. He knows that Dan and I are both armchair ufologists. However, I'm one of the most skeptical ones out there.
Yeah, it's frustrating sometimes.
No, but I want it all to be true.
Yes, you do.
Because I think it'll change global society and oneness, and I think it'll be great for the world if we found out that, whoa, guys, there's more to the picture. Everybody settle the fuck down. But continue. So
okay, give me 60 seconds. Because I'm gonna address your concerns right now. So here's the deal. I don't know what's going on at Skinwalker Ranch. Just because the United States government spent $22 million on it doesn't make any of it real. However,
hold on a second. I want you to mark that spot on the tape because we are eventually gonna get just a clip of Jeremy Corbell saying, "I don't know what's going on Skinwalker Ranch," and separate that out.
That's an everyday occurrence.
And we'll just play that clip.
You should get my wife on and she'll tell you Jeremy Corbell doesn't know shit.
The director of the film saying, after directing the film, I don't know what's going on there.
That's right.
Go see my movie.
60 seconds
uninterrupted. I forgot 60 seconds. Okay, my fault. I apologize.
Okay, so big picture stuff. We know that this ranch was studied by the United States military and by private industry.
What years?
The study started in 1996 and
see, that doesn't add up.
So we made 12 seconds. Okay, cool.
You got to let me. Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a 7+ year study by NIDS by Robert Bigelow. Then the Defense Intelligence Agency came in and studied for 2 years. I have documented proof of that. So the Defense Intelligence Agency's their study. There's documented proof. My mentor in journalism, George Knapp, and I released documents. This is now something that we know about. There was a UFO study called ATIP.
Okay, let me stop you there. I believe that it was studied.
Yes.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. Todd and I went and did paranormal research with looking for EVPs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Just the fact that we went to do that doesn't prove that we saw anything.
Okay. So back to my 60 seconds. I broke a story about a guy named Commander David Fravor. I broke that story before the New York Times.
Okay.
That story is about the Tic-Tac Ufo, the 2004 Nimitz incident that occurred over 9 days, where anomalous aerial vehicles were outpacing our most advanced craft and weapons systems. I broke that story.
Where?
Where did it happen? Mm-hmm. Just off the coast of California. Okay, it's about 30 miles, let's say, off the coast of California. This is reported in the New York Times. The New York Times in December of 2017 gave you 2 UFO videos of what they call AAVs, which is just UFO, anomalous aerial vehicle. They admitted an organization called ATIP, Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, that is the modern-day UFO program.
But I would imagine ATIP is an important program to have regardless of UFOs.
Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification for sure, except they only studied UFOs.
Okay.
They only studied things that didn't have tail numbers, wings, or typical propulsion.
Is the footage you're talking about that...
the gimbal and the Tic-Tac.
Is that the one that's taken from the cockpit that you can see?
There's actually 3.
Okay.
Yes.
Are they cockpit videos?
Yeah, 2 of them are from the FLIR cameras underneath the cockpit.
Right?
I've
seen them.
I know the individual that was flying those planes. Okay. So you've got an individual, and I broke this story, who said, I saw something that outpaced anything that we had and also jammed my weapon system.
Yeah, it got picked up on Fox News.
So we're not talking.
I remember.
It did.
Yeah.
It was the tip of the spear for the whole movement of what's going on now. So now we know not only that we were lied to, that ATIP is not the only program. What my movie reveals, there was a program called OSAP, Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Application Program, a DIA program that was a bigger, larger UFO study that not only studied UFOs and the threats passively in the military like ATIP, but actively with associated phenomena. They studied Skinwalker Ranch.
But that's more because they're concerned that they have the power to de-arm our nukes.
Even weirder. One of the main concerns of the Defense Intelligence Agency that came into the ranch was that some craft were seen coming out of what appeared to be portholes, and also creatures, I know this is weird, crawling out of what appeared to be inverted geometric fucking portholes on the ranch that scientists who studied it were attesting to. So they thought, well, imagine that. If we can deploy troops and we can deploy craft through fucking tears in time, wouldn't you want to know that as a nation? If we don't figure it out, someone else will.
Right.
And the Chinese and another nation were studying Skinwalker.
Well, who saw these phenomenon take place?
So there's a multitude of scientists. There were 50 that were employed both by NIDS and...
Did you talk to any of them in the film?
I talked to tons of them in the film.
Okay.
So Dr. Colin Kelleher, who co-wrote the book with George Knapp, he appears in my film. Dr. Eric Davis appears in my film for the first time ever, testifying to their work on the ranch. Whether you want to, I know you want to, but whether you can believe it or whether you do believe it, it doesn't give a shit. It is happening.
Okay, but let's break down the film a little bit, okay? Because I want to believe.
Me too, man.
Number one, there was really no video evidence of anything.
Disagree.
What did you find that was the most compelling video evidence?
Right. Okay. So evidence, there was tons of evidence of what is my question that I'm going to put to you.
Okay.
But yeah, they did capture some things, like strange things, like the apparition of the Twin Towers that I showed in my film. You know, I wasn't supposed to get that footage. I got it out. Now, that's evidence. Evidence of fucking what? It looks like Twin Towers that just come up. So no, I mean, I was there with a bunch of people on multiple occasions. Didn't capture anything on
How
film.
long were you there for?
I was there on multiple occasions over multiple nights.
So like a week in total, a month in total of your life?
So you make a great point. Because I studied all the phenomena in the associated areas with all the different people. The Uinta Basin is a hot spot for centuries, right? So not just the ranch. The ranch was a living laboratory where you could observe the phenomenon. So I was there for a short amount of time. The scientists were there 24/7 for 7 years, and they isolated 143 incidents.
Okay, but wait, where are those incidents in the film?
Okay, well, actually, we go through a number of them in the film. You know, we list them off.
You listed, it plays like a list. Number one, number two, and number three. Okay, that part aside, why did you include the section of the paranormal team of paranormal scientists, almost like you picture the first Poltergeist, where they all bring in their machines and their EVPs and all this stuff, and then their conclusion was these entities and phenomenons are so highly advanced that they ignored all of our electrical equipment.
Oh no, they didn't ignore it. In fact, this is the conclusion. Unfortunately for you,
that's what they said.
No, they didn't say that. Unfortunately for you, what they came away with.
What's beautiful, before you tell me, what's beautiful is I tell everybody who comes to my house. My house is really haunted. I just want to warn you, but don't worry. They're so advanced, they'll ignore you. It gets me laid.
It's never nice to be ignored, Dave. Okay, so here's the deal, man. Okay. So it is uncomfortable and it is annoying that if this is an intelligence that is performing and displaying all of these like cacophony of fucking strange, weird events that are going on there, that it is intelligent and it is technologically advanced and that it does understand our technology and that it is avoiding detection.
Right, but so you guys are saying the evidence of this thing is existing is the fact that it avoided detection.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the evidence of this thing occurring is the weight of witness testimony over time from different perspectives and multiple people. How long does it take for 100 people to say that guy fucking raped us, right? That's a serial killer, and then to put that guy behind bars and zap him in the fucking brain. Right. So I'm just saying that witness testimony is evidence. Of course, certain witness testimony is better than others. And I'm not sitting here, I come into your studio, I'm not sitting here trying to defend what's going on. Right. I'm reporting on what happened.
Right.
A story you didn't know.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, doesn't somebody in the government, especially one of those organizations that possibly saw your film, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, we sent it to them.
Because they want to see everything. Wouldn't they think to themselves, okay, this thing is so advanced that it detected electronic measurement equipment.
It made mistakes though, Dave.
But it sure as fuck ain't going to give us the secret to portal jumping.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Look, they wanted to assess if there was a threat to national security. When the DIA guys came there to check it out, they had a personal experience. They pushed this funding through with Senator Harry Reid. This wasn't like accepted by the DIA. Oh yeah, sounds great. Let's study the fucking paranormal. They had to fight for it because of personal experiences. So yeah, man, it's a crazy story. But what I'm telling you that I can back up 100%, these studies happened. People took it seriously. People spent a lot of time and money on this, and
Oh, I have no doubt about
They are
any of that.
convinced. They are convinced because of the physical fucking evidence that something's going on there. And you ask, what's physical evidence? If you found a body with its ass cored out, all its organs removed, no fucking blood, and its bones ripped out by some kind of machine, 2 types of metal, we know that. That would be physical evidence. That would be a fucking corpse.
Right.
Happened to animals there.
Right.
And I love animals.
That was one of the more fascinating parts for me is the animal stuff.
Yeah.
Because it is very, very, very strange.
The mutilation thing has been going on for
there
years.
are
But are
thousands-
these mutilations different than the ones that have been reported and found across the country?
Are they different? I would say they're more similar than they are different. However, there are mutilations as of like a year ago. I just got, I'm the guy that people send stuff to now. It's fucking gross stuff. But my point is the activity has not slowed down. It continues. And I don't want to dismiss the hundreds of people that between George Knapp and myself that we've talked with that have provided us their experiences. This is not something you get just in the middle of Los Angeles. Something's going on there. Our government knows about it. The locals know about it. And it's part of daily life there. And you can dismiss it all day long. But if you go there and spend time, even being skeptical like I am about this shit, you're going to experience the high strangeness.
So would you say, having been there and spent so much time there, that the strangeness going on is more paranormal or more from another dimension, another world? Or would you say it is just some kind of hotspot where all those things have access to that spot on the, the GPS coordinates? Like those coordinates are some kind of hotspot where all these things.
Yeah, why there?
Yeah,
I mean, I can provide you the story, but I'm hesitant to provide you an explanation because I don't know, and I don't believe a lot of the theories that are out there. They all sound very alluring, and we like to insert our own mythology onto things. I don't know. I just know that there are events with physical evidence, physical trace, UFOs cracking off tops of trees. It's incredible out there, but I don't know what's going on. However, I'm more of a nuts and bolts kind of guy. The movie I always wanted to make is the movie on Bob Lazar about back engineering alien technology, UFOs. That's the next one. This one, paranormal? What does that fucking word even mean? I don't know.
Well, it's very convoluted in this context too, because you're also talking UFOs, and they're usually 2 schools. And both things kind of reside.
Which is what has always been interesting about that ranch is that it somehow seems to pull in both things. Mm-hmm. There's been that cross.
What was your takeaway, Dan, after seeing the film?
It didn't give me any like clear answers, but it was fascinating. I mean, I've heard about the ranch for years as well.
I've seen other things on Skinwalker Ranch. And there's a couple of Skinwalker things out there.
Yeah, I think the some of the witness testimony.
Fastwalkers too. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, and it's a totally different.
I liked some of the witness testimony with the talk of the wood piles moving across the field in a matter of moments, and weird people that I found believable, and the guy seeing the thing over his house But
there's physical ramifications, though. I mean, you saw Janice, and you saw what happened to her and her son being sick, and the guy dying of a unique brain cancer after being beamed by a fucking ship, and his face being all red and burned. That actually happened. That happened to multiple people out there. So the ramifications are very real. So look, here's the point, guys. I don't know what's going on out at Skinwalker Ranch, but I will tell you this. Out of all the film work and everything I've ever looked after, this is the one that really turned me on my head because something is going out there. I haven't been able to uncover what it is, but something is going on. And people
that
should pay
didn't
attention.
stop you from making a movie about it, did it?
Well, that was the process of making a movie about it.
I understand.
Right?
No, I
but
know.
see, Dave, everybody wants answers. It's a documentary.
I understand that you're looking. It's a documentation of you looking for the truth.
Well, do you want me to tell you what I think it is? I mean,
yes.
Does that make a better documentary if I tell you? I want you to think.
Let me think here. I think I would love a theory brought forth to contemplate.
So that we did bring theories forth in the movie. If you're really paying attention, he's talking about the idea people believe there's interdimensional portholes, a place where the world is thin, a veil that's perforated, where these things start to come into our dimension, or we are fucking visitors in their dimension, and they've been here longer.
That one is just, that's crazy.
That one flips it on the head, that we are the visitors. This is their world, and we're visiting. I don't want to believe that either.
That's just not true.
That was proposed in both the book. Actually, I kind of believe he has inside knowledge of it. So it's proposed in the book and in the movie, you guys. Like all these things, from UFOs to poltergeist. I don't know.
Do you have a different opinion now that the movie's done than you did during it?
Well,
And now you've had some time to sit with it, and
I've had a really interesting point of view on all this, in that I've had access to. Look, in my movie, there's a lot of firsts. You get the original owner, Robert Bigelow, on camera for the first time giving on-camera testimony. You have the new owner who's come forward.
who's the one that was disguised?
That's the new owner who wants
The new owner,
confidentiality. He has a business empire, and they do not fucking intermix. So, I respect his desire.
And of course, he would remain anonymous because, boy, it could be hard to find the location of this place.
Well, no. He doesn't want people knowing his identity so that it messes with his ability to study the ranch.
Right. Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
But if I went there, I would find him. I go, are you the guy who was hidden in the...
No. He's a known business. People think it's Tony Robbins, but I think it's so fucking great.
So he's not like living in the. I take the upstairs room.
No. There's a helicopter pad.
Rents out for Airbnb.
There's like a badass helicopter that swoops in, and that's the owner.
Right.
George Knapp is a huge part of your film, and anyone that knows ufology at all, he's been a part of this from the beginning. I feel like.
Yeah.
How did you?
He's one of the godfathers.
Yeah. How did you hook up with
I stalked
George
him.
Knapp? Did you really?
Yeah, I did. He's my mentor in journalism. I called him and said, I want to make this movie on John Lear and Bob Lazar, and you got to tell me what's going on.
John Lear's great. I love that guy.
I filmed him for 7 years. I have the definitive film on him. I won't release it for a little while. It's not time.
You should.
Oh my God.
Well, I
He's
got to
great.
get rid of.
I love these UFO guys with the "it's not time."
No.
The people aren't ready for that.
aren't ready.
No.
Yeah,
That's. I love the way your mind works. That's not what I'm saying.
That
I'm saying
one.
I got to finish my first film.
Right.
The first film I ever want to do is the Bob Lazar film.
Yeah.
John Lear is one of my more believable guys.
Yeah.
I'm a
Who's
big
the
John
guy?
Lear guy.
Steven.
Oh God, don't. Just wash your mouth out right fucking now.
Greer?
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus
You know what I'm
Christ.
saying, right?
Oh my God.
You don't like Greer?
He's just.
It's not a personal thing. It's a.
His ideas are just like he gets you.
You just don't like his sandals.
No, what I don't like is that
His workout routine.
What I don't like that he's doing is that he's mixing his own personal metaphysical belief system into his evidence.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
I'm kidding.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Here's some really tasty Kool-Aid.
So
Drink it.
he's gonna really. He has the tendency to make either what he's saying unpalatable or unbelievable. He discredits his own discoveries by mixing in his whole, vibrations to the universe and the meditations out in the deserts and, we're connecting.
He
with
also
you know what I mean?
alludes to knowing much more that he can't.
Guys, it's a
just-
fucking sideshow.
I just feel like he's doing ufology a disservice because he's making us look like whack jobs.
Yeah, not everybody can be George Knapp. Fucking that guy's a gangster.
No.
Tell that to George Knapp.
That's right. Or what's his name for that matter?
Don't say it. Why are you going there?
Why?
Because these are horrible reflections of the world of trying to understand what's going on and something that's really interesting.
David Childress is a horrible reflection?
I didn't know you were going to say that. I don't know much about him.
Were you thinking Whitley?
I don't want to talk. I don't want to throw into. Why give these people names
What do you got
and
against
airtime?
Streeper? What do you got against
No,
Streeper?
he's super
dude.
cute. I would
Streetley.
totally make like s'mores with that guy.
Super cute.
Yeah, he's super cute. He's like a nice dude.
Who's the original Majestic 12 guy? The Van what's his name? He's in close
Van
encounter.
Halen.
Van Morrison.
He's in close encounter.
So you're talking about Jacques Vallée, or you're talking
The other
about
one.
Hynek, J.
That's the
Allen
one.
Hynek.
Yeah.
J. Allen Hynek.
So J. Allen Hynek, big time
Yeah.
fucking baller. He
Yeah.
was supposed to dismiss UFO
Because
things.
he was the dismisser at first, and then he looked at the evidence, was like, I've been
Flip,
convinced.
like a pancake. Fucking
That's right.
flip. Yeah. Look, here's the deal. UFOs are real. It's a real phenomenon. These intelligences are controlling whatever these are, if they're craft or whatever. This is really happening. It's been happening for a long time, since the beginning of recorded human history, period. Now, what that means to us and what it's all about.
Where has it been recorded? That's what I'd
Cave
like to
drawings
know.
you
for
kidding me?
thousands of years. Come on, dude.
Where has it been recorded?
Yeah, recorded.
So what do you mean?
Well, where's
That's
the-
crazy.
Ancient
What do you mean
cave
it's crazy?
sketches and Bible paintings and
That's not a recording, that's a rendering.
well, back then that's how you recorded history
Okay,
is by
I'm
what you
with
see
you.
by drawing in caves.
That is a rendering.
Look, these experiences have been referenced in every form of documented media, from music to art to literature.
I understand.
To culture.
They didn't. Not everybody had cell phones back then.
Right, but what you're saying is what he's saying is the concept of them has been recorded and duly noted since.
For sure.
Yeah.
When I was 7 years old.
You're saying where's the recorded proof?
Yeah, when I was
Have you
7
seen a
years
UFO?
Thank you, Todd.
No.
Well done.
You've never seen
Thank
one.
you. I've never seen one.
I saw a triangle.
I wish me too.
You saw Big Black Delta?
I did.
Get out of here.
Over my music store in Acton, Massachusetts when I was 16 years old.
Really?
Wow.
Clear as day. It was nighttime, but I saw it very clearly.
BBD.
For about 10, 15 seconds.
God, so many people have seen this shit, and it's overwhelming. I feel like Inspector Clouseau. I always have my back fucking turned. I don't see what's going on.
Dan still believes that the Arizona lights are real.
Absolutely.
That was
Phoenix
a real.
lights.
That was a real.
What do you think? Don't say it's flares.
No.
I will knock you out, motherfucker.
fucking flares.
He's right. They did shoot up flares. But what he's not right about is right before, for multiple miles, tracked on radar and by civilians, there was a huge Delta-shaped triangular craft.
But you're saying
flares
the lights
don't float for hours.
The lights that hung there for hours, there were parachutes on them, Dan.
Parachutes don't float in the same spot,
We
dude.
know definitively
You
the
don't know
military
what-
shot up flares.
Yeah,
we know that.
Yeah, we know that. We don't know that the wind held
Have
them
you ever
there.
seen a parachute just sit in the sky like this and not move for hours?
No,
and
like
hours.
I get it. Dave
I bet you haven't.
wants cell phone video, or he wants actual like good video. So like
Yeah,
I don't know.
where's the
like,
piece of metal that-
I don't know, like a FLIR camera on a
where's the-
military jet taking video of the Tic-Tac.
Oh, please.
I
That
mean-
black and white grainy
No.
fucking with a
Have
cross
you,
down the
okay,
middle
no, but
of
hold on.
it.
Have
You know,
you talked to a specialist who deals with that type of footage, and have you had them analyze it for you?
No, of course not.
But it's amazing. You should, because then you're going to really understand what you're seeing, man.
Do you not believe that video with the tilting?
No, I don't
thing?
believe
What's
it.
going on around here?
shit!
What do you think it is?
Well, they're too locked together. They're too locked together.
What do you mean?
The crafts.
He's totally lying. Man. He totally believes it. He's
I
just
don't.
fucking with us.
But what do you think those flipping? What do you think is going on? What are they filming?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody knows. Dave. You make a good point.
What
It's
I'm
a
saying
UFO.
is, where's my fucking piece of metal that crinkles and you put it down and it flattens
You're
out
talking
again?
Roswell shit.
I'm talking all the things that we've heard, physical evidence.
Yeah, I would
Where's
love
the
that, too.
video of the craft landing and the fucking the reptilian or the
S4.
gray or whatever the
S4.
fuck it is coming out? And that was supposed to be a crash.
Isn't this the core of the Bob Lazar story, that we have physical evidence, like actual craft that we're reverse engineering an
Well,
element?
according to
115?
Bob Lazar, had been.
Do you find him
reversed.
credible?
I find him incredibly credible. Tell everybody who Bob Lazar is. He worked at Area 51. If you want to go ahead,
Sure, yeah. Bob Lazar claims
he is. I guess he's not dead, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Bob Lazar's, he claims to have worked at Area 51, a sub-base of Area 51 called S4, where he was reverse engineering alien craft for the U.S. military. He said that in 1989. It made world news. Everybody has tried to debunk him. George Knapp has followed the story for 30 years, and every time we try to find a hole in his story, things start popping up, and it just turns out he's been telling the truth all along.
He's
well,
the first
that's not entirely true. What has happened is that of all the places that he studied and school and government issued IDs and so forth, all those records have been wiped.
Okay, so you mashed a bunch of stuff together, so we're going to unpack that a little bit. Let's start with schooling. From the very first report ever on Bob Lazar, it was acknowledged that his background of school cannot be verified. However, that does not take away that he definitively, and I proved this with a witness, that he definitively worked at Los Alamos at the particle accelerator as a physicist.
Okay.
George proved it in 1989. I proved it again. So there he is working in scientific capacity. So however he got there to Los Alamos, do you think they picked him up right out of high school? He had to have some credential. So whether we can prove it or not, I don't really give a shit. He was working at the Maison facility, the particle accelerator.
Right. I understand that. And I believe the guy's a physicist. I believe that he's smart as hell. I believe all that stuff. And I'm sure he's educated. I mean, I've heard him speak a million times. He's
the first person that ever mentioned Area 51 publicly, right? That's
He's
where we
the
got the name from.
S4. It is the
S4
reason
is the
it is
first
the
one.
reason you know about it. Some people knew about Area 51 before, but yeah.
Yeah, S4 was when I learned that. That's what really intrigued me.
I'm
like
so
this.
stoked you know about him.
Oh,
he's-
Bob
yeah.
Lazar?
The world does. It's incredible. His story is so huge.
I've known about him since the early 90s because I've been when you could only order VHSs from UFO TV is when I started going crazy. So so Bob Lazar, who has been working on the hydrogen fueled car for
He had multiple hydrogen fueled cars
Yeah.
that he worked in New Mexico.
the man is keeping him on, the government is not allowing.
He never said that. You said that. He never said that.
Conveniently something went awry.
That's your story, not his.
His story is that they came to visit him in the silo. And
Where did you hear that?
On
That they came
Art-
to visit him in the silo? The
Art
government?
Bell. I heard him tell Art Bell. Yeah.
The government came to visit him in a silo. And
He
told him to
owns.
stop
He
making.
owns a missile silo.
He did. He used
Yeah.
to.
And
Okay, but
they were investigating.
that's
that.
okay. This is so cool. This is part of the lore of Bob Lazar. Why it makes his story so good.
Right.
This is not exactly what happened. But
Well, what do you
cool.
mean it's not happening?
I don't know exactly what you're referencing, but now I want to learn it.
I don't know what you're referencing, but it didn't happen.
No. Meaning I know for
Let me-
I know for sure the government did not come and squash his hydrogen car project.
No. I'm not talking about the hydrogen car. I'm saying they had eyes on this guy, and as soon as he bought the missile silo, they were like, "What the fuck's going on?" And they went out there.
I've
Ask him.
never heard that story. I'll ask him.
It's on an Art Bell episode.
Okay.
And he says it to Art Bell.
He says it
himself,
to Art
yeah.
Bell.
Dude, I like learning new things about Bob all the time, but I got to tell you, 99.9% of what's out there about him, he's never said. People make shit up about him, and it's not their fault. It's
That's all right. 99.9 shit about Dave isn't true either.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fair
when the big nuclear spill happened in Japan, we bought a Geiger counter from Bob Lazar.
Oh, from United Nuclear.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
But anyway, so Bob's apparently is one of the most credible witnesses or people we would ever hear testimony from about how they recovered the craft, how they brought it to a secondary base in Area 51, and he was assigned to reverse engineer it, and it worked on this gravitational field that was powered unlike anything we've ever had before. Anti-gravity propulsion. And what I did like about Bob, and what he was the first guy to make me go, oh yeah, is when he talked about how these craft don't travel millions of light years, that they bend the space-time continuum. And I was like,
It's annoyingly cool, the theory, right?
that makes
It does. Makes
makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're otherwise like, they'd have to be going the speed of light for 20 years to get here. But like, actually, no. If they bend the space-time continuum.
Is he the one that came up with the folding paper analogy of
No,
punching a hole?
He didn't come up
and-
with that. That's an old understanding of dimensions and physics. But
He does it with a
Dave-
balloon.
Yeah, so
Oh.
Dave is really touching upon the thing that I say, like, weaponized my curiosity. It made me so crazy. I was like, I have to go after this.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you just described. I was 13 years old, 1989, and I hear Bob describe a propulsion system where you're not it's not a reactionary propulsion system. You're not pushing something out of the back. You're falling in time space towards your point through gravity wave amplification. Fucking incredible.
The beautiful thing also in it is that within the craft, since it's it controls gravitational force, it can make a right turn and you won't feel it inside.
Yeah.
That kind of shit blows my
maneuvers
mind.
that would kill a human being. usually,
Yeah, so you won't hit the wall. So the inside is a protected
Yeah, the
field.
inertia and acceleration, it is a protective field. So if you believe Bob's story, and by the way, this is not something that is debated in physics. We know that gravity distorts time-space. We know that what he's saying is possible. We even know that element 115 is
Well,
stabilized.
that's what keeps the fucking satellites going around the planets.
Is gravity holding it.
There's a bend in the space-time.
And we have to adjust the atomic clocks at all times because of the gravitational force. So yeah, I agree. So here's the deal. Dave, guys, thanks for having me on. Come see my premiere of the Bob Lazar film because you're going to, in a single night, we've all been watching Bob Lazar
When
for
is the
30
premiere?
years. It's
What's so
December
funny
3rd.
is I grew up in Los Alamos and I never have heard of his.
Oh, really? I've talked to a lot of people that work there that knew him, though.
That's because you're one of them, aren't you?
Shit.
Bob Lazar is kind of a reclusive, very particular, like science nerdy kind of dude. Which I think he lives where he lives now because he kind of wants to be out of the
hates the
visibility.
spotlight.
Wait a minute. Your dad, Jess, is a scientist. Your dad must know who he is.
Your dad don't know.
I'm sure he probably does. And people talked about Area 51, but
Yeah.
I never heard his name.
Right. So he's part of the lore. The fact Dave knows him, you guys know him, that's so cool. But here's my point is on December 3rd, life dream for me. Your amount of data on judging Bob Lazar is going to triple in a single night. Over 30 years, you've only had sound bites and all this stuff because George twisted it out of him. It's going to triple,
Okay.
if not more.
Do you already have it in the can?
Yeah, it's all
oh
done.
My God.
So now, the unfilmable project has been filmed.
Okay.
Period. So now the deal is I'm going to give that to everybody on December 3rd at the theater at the Ace Hotel down that beautiful 1600
Great.
for Charlie
We're
Chaplin
there.
Theater.
We're-
Fuck.
Can
You
we
guys
come?
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
we're there.
Guys, it's going to be amazing. So I'm like,
but I'll still come if a link shows up in my email. I'll still come to the event.
okay, it's better on the big screen anyway. But so look, let's
I don't know
get.
what there's
Somehow paranormally-
There's even more B-roll of a desert footage.
Okay, we're
that'd
gonna
be great.
So, to the point. You're having me on to talk about my movie. It's on iTunes. It's on Amazon. It's on all the pay-per-view things. Go watch Hunt for the Skinwalker and watch it because real soon the second movie's coming. I don't want to jump the gun.
So you're saying
coming
that-
December 3rd.
You're saying this is an hors d'oeuvre or an entree to the major film that you've been wanting to make.
What I'm saying is this film is so big, Hunt for the Skinwalker, you got to watch it now because I'm about to hit you with another atom bomb, and that's Bob Lazar on December 3rd.
It's gonna go over as well as the Disclosure did.
Oh, that's nice.
What
Real nice.
That did
But
nothing.
The Greer movie.
The whole movement, the
Oh.
Disclosure.
The Rosie Greer movie? I didn't know he was in film.
I like the Disclosure Project stuff.
I like it too, but the
all
world
those
just kind of went.
captains. Yeah, but you
It's
have,
just-
you have to kind of be interested anyway to stumble upon those things.
I can't believe the world didn't just fucking fall
Look,
to their
the-
knees.
It should have been an ABC special or something, but it wasn't. You know?
The New York Times covered an event I held with my business partner Ruben Langdon called the Citizen Hearing on Disclosure. That, if that's what you're talking about, compared to the other disclosure thing in 2001, it was 5 congressmen, 1 senator,
No, I'm
listened to
talking
40
about
hours of testimony.
2001. Yeah,
Okay,
no, I saw
that's
that
mine.
too. No, I know that
Yeah, that's
too.
mine.
Yeah, the information in there is riveting.
It is cool. It's like the C-SPAN of UFOs. The Lazar movie, Skinwalker, it's much more fun. The Lazar is going to be rock and fucking roll. But yeah, that's like the C-SPAN of UFOs.
Dude, you know what you should do is you should dig up some old Art Bell shows with him.
Well, I have everything, Dave. I've listened to everything. I've watched every piece of footage ever filmed of Bob Lazar. I have it all on my drive. I made sure to do that before I started cutting the film. In my film, I put together old vintage footage with brand new footage of Bob over the last 2 years.
Is it
Get
true-
ready, man. It's going to be so fun.
Is it true that Bob is now a DJ in Vegas? Is that true?
I can't confirm nor deny his
Spinning records at
international
Rain.
celebrity.
Is it the Hard Rock?
DJ
playing records?
Lazar.
Yes.
Man,
Is
there
there
are so
any
many.
truth that it's all about the flux capacitor?
Yes.
That's what the thing that makes.
Now I'm
time
really excited.
travel
Is Bob
possible.
going to be at the?
Yeah, he'll be hosting it with me.
I gotta meet this fucking guy. I got him. He's the only guy. It's funny we landed on him. And first of all, go see Hunt for the Skinwalker. And I don't mean. I am taking a very con stance. The film is great. It's full of riveting information and it's super fascinating. I just have the maker here, so I like to play devil's advocate because it's not often when I'm at home watching a movie like this and I say, yeah, what about this? It's not often I get to ask the filmmaker, you know?
And it is a frustrating film because I don't have all the answers.
No, but it's just like watching Species with Stephen Greer and being so pumped on it. And at the end, the DNA tests remain inconclusive. Inconclusive? I just spent 2 hours and now you're going to take me out in the fucking desert and watch you guys like ohm to the stars together?
There is no
That's- he's
oming
talking
in
Greer.
my film.
He's
by the
talking
fucking way.
Greer, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
talking
get
Greer.
really clear. There ain't no fucking oming in
No,
my
but
film.
I'm saying if I had Greer sitting with me, I'm like, dude, you fucking needed to end this movie like
So-
20 minutes ago.
Oh, you could Indian leg wrestle with him instead.
Todd and I were talking about the movie last night, and the thing, it's a great movie. What the fuck is up with Robbie Williams being in the movie?
Yeah.
That was what a weird curveball that wasn't really explained.
But look, I
It was-
didn't push it in your face like, oh, look, it's Robbie. He just
No, but
happened
it was-
to be.
it was crazy.
It was almost weird because he was just there. So I guess he's an international pop star, right? So it's fucking weird. But like, really, he's just a good guy and he's a friend. And
Yeah,
he just
he's a good
came,
dude.
Yeah, and he just
I've
came.
known him for years.
Is he interested in this stuff regardless?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
he's had his own experiences. So he's friends with Mark Allen from Above Top Secret and also George Knapp. And I ended up meeting him and we ended up, kind of bonding over this. And we're like, well, let's go fucking look. So we went and looked. And he said the funniest shit to me. He's like, we're walking around, it's dead of night. He goes, man, we're like looking for the paranormal needle in the haystack. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was right. Walking on this ranch hoping to be spooked by something. I didn't see shit.
See, that's exactly my point. It's a needle in a haystack.
It is. It is.
right.
But in the
100%.
film, he claims to have had an experience. He does talk for a second about.
He had a number of personal UFO and
Right.
paranormal type experiences, and he's looking for answers. And he's a good guy. He's really sharp, and he's kind of a big guy. I like him having my back.
He
He's
also thinks he's Charlie Chaplin like 6 months out of the year too.
Didn't know.
Don't pay attention.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
He's got a great sense of humor, though, right?
No,
I mean,
he's the
I
best.
love the way. Yeah,
I love
sweetheart.
him. But Hunt for the Skinwalker, and it's available. I watched it. I actually rented it on iTunes before I knew you were coming here.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
And I'm super excited about. Okay, if you could name your top 3 UFO documentaries, what would they be?
My first one was called Patient 17. My second one was called Hunt for the Skinwalker. And my third one's going to be called Bob Lazar.
What's Patient 17 about?
Oh, you're
seen
going to
it there.
love this shit. It's about alleged alien implant removal
Oh, I
surgery.
saw it.
You saw it? You saw my other movie?
Yeah, I
Dave,
know.
I'm famous. There we go.
No.
But here's the deal.
That's just all just crap. All that.
Okay,
Don't
but
get
hold
me
on.
wrong.
Hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on.
No, I saw them
No, but-
taking something out of people.
No, but hold on.
There's no
Hold
doubt
on now.
about it.
Hold on now.
I would think that alien technology would look a little bit more
Hey,
like
isn't that what
How
I
would you know? You wouldn't know what it
Hold
looks
on.
like.
Isn't that what I said in the movie?
what?
Isn't it interesting? I didn't want to make that movie, man. I followed it because I was pulled into it. And damn, it made for a fun movie. So I'm not saying it's anything. I show you in the film my own skepticism.
Right.
People got to watch my movies with open eyes, man. There's even humor in there people aren't getting. I don't know what this shit is. I'm making cool movies on it, though.
No, I'm glad that you think so.
It's almost.
All right, motherfucker. That's
No,
it.
I've seen them both. I loved them both. I'm just waiting for the fucking thing.
In essence,
Where's
what
the
you're
fucking
saying.
thing?
In essence, what you're saying is you're breaking news stories in hour and a half formats.
Yeah, I
Because
mean-
you're just saying this is what everybody's saying is going on.
Look, everybody wants me to take a position and say, well, this is what's true. Well, that's not the way the fucking world works. I'm looking at these exotic topics and these things, and I'm finding the most credible stories that I can, a.k.a. Bob Lazar.
Who's that Meyer guy?
Billy Meyer?
Billy Meyer.
Yeah, we want
Trippy.
Billy Meyer's style evidence.
Yeah, but his was fake.
His was fake.
I
yeah.
know, but I want it to look like that, but real.
He
Yeah.
wants the
Everybody
That's,
wanted-
that's called the Phoenix Lights, dude.
That shit is not fucking.
God damn it.
Dude, that is flares,
Yeah.
flares,
Look,
Flares that float in the same
You want it
exact
to be-
spot for hours.
You want it to be as real as the Bigfoot walking, looking back at the camera footage.
People are so pissed at me that I didn't show you a Skinwalker in the fucking film. I'm getting ripped to shreds online. However, my
I
film's-
did not expect to see a Skinwalker.
Okay, well, you're 1 in a million. Anyway, my film is number 15 today on top documentaries worldwide. So
Congratulations.
it's
Nice.
doing, yeah, I was like stoked. So it's doing well to date. It's kicking ass. So people are interested in this. But what I didn't do is I didn't make an Ancient Aliens bullshit thing where I try to
Nope.
show you some stupid fucking image and be like, oh, that's fucking it. What I'm doing is I'm showing you a much more complex idea that you should pay attention to, which is that this stuff really happened.
Okay, here's you're gonna love my Ancient Aliens thing. I always bring it up whenever that comes up. As ancient astronaut theorists surmise. Well, wait a minute. You don't have to go to school to be an ancient astronaut theorist, right? I could be one.
It's just a person with an
I'm
idea.
an investigative filmmaker. I've got an iPhone and an attitude.
But I'm saying
so-
they say that as if it's like some kind of scholastic accomplishment, and they know better. But it's basically anybody with a theory of an ancient
It's
astronaut.
anyone who's ever been on the History Channel.
It's
is an
it's
ancient
super
astronaut
annoying,
theorist.
and everybody does that. And if you strip away the sensationalism, what's left? It's already fucking
and they
sensational.
they don't tell you anything. They just ask questions.
Yeah,
Is this evidence of an advanced technology? Ancient astronaut theorists surmise. Okay, but you're not telling me what it is.
yeah. Look, it's frustrating, but I really do believe that the films I'm putting out, although they're not force feeding you some bullshit spooky movie kind of grainy footage stuff, what I am providing you is the real story. And
I love that. I love the honesty about them. I'm with you in the sense that I'm just looking for my fucking
yeah, me too.
4K footage of the fucking gray coming out and doing the fucking hand gesture from Close Encounters.
But you're also not pissed enough about it to really look at the Tic-Tac and the gimbal footage and say, what am
saw
I?
it.
But what are you seeing?
Oh
See,
man,
what do you think it is?
the what ifs? I can't. It's not my job to explain what if.
right?
Well,
but I said,
but
what's
I'm
the-
asking
I don't
you right
understand.
now.
Something that comes from the a video from a military aircraft where they're saying this is fucking crazy.
Okay,
and then
understood.
their job is to know what's in the air, and they don't know it's crazy.
Understood, but it's a grainy black and white, marked up with a center cross hatch point.
Yeah.
With the shapes, and they're very fucking uniformed in how they move. And yes, it's interesting and compelling, but in this day and age, that footage is no more compelling than the footage from Chariots of the Gods, where you see the fucking silver craft.
But wasn't this
go
released
behind
by
the
our
mountain.
Department of Defense?
It was. And here's the deal. I agree with Dave, though. This was only a portion of the footage was released.
Yep.
And a low quality version of the footage was released.
Right.
And this I know because I interviewed everybody who saw the footage before.
Oh, so it's a dumbed down clip?
Fuck.
So
Yeah.
you must have seen that Eric Van Daniken film in the 70s, the Chariots of the
Yeah,
Gods.
and read the book and yeah.
There was better UFO footage there.
I don't love UFO footage. I think anything can be really fake
Especially
right now.
nowadays.
It's the paper
It
trail.
definitely could, and that's back when it was film, and that's
Right.
back when you can only capture it if you had a film. So that when you had one, like there was always a story, like we were here setting up to interview someone, and then we happened to see this light, and the cameraman did that. I was like, wow, but there I'm believing it. Now it's like, look at this. Is this a flock of birds, or is this just thousands of UFOs that one person took one picture of, and here it is.
But are you excited?
Yeah, got it.
Are you guys?
You know what I mean? Like, got it.
I'm just curious. Are you guys excited that the Department of Defense officially released 2 videos that they're telling us don't have traditional propulsion,
I
and that
am.
was pushed out through the
Yes.
New York Times? Is that exciting to you? Because that's the best we got right now.
That's one of the most credible things that I've ever seen.
Yeah, me too. Straight up.
I have a question. Is that leaked, or is it put out specifically
Interesting
by, you know what I
question,
mean? Like,
actually.
is that
So
like,
it was-
okay, we'll say that this is obviously it got leaked. So
You've seen it, right, Todd?
Yeah, but I don't know the story
So-
behind
so the
it.
back-
or-
the background is-
Let me just add this, and you can give the bathroom. Somebody uses the bathroom anyway, or you can finish. But don't forget that Trump is going for this whole space war,
Space Force,
right?
Space Wars.
Space
I love
Force,
that.
right? Okay, but it could be part of the agenda to leak some shit out to the public to make them
Right.
feel they need a space force.
Who's the conspiracy theorist now, Dave?
I'm just saying.
See, I believe that more.
That's what
more
I'm
than
saying.
anything
I'm
else.
saying that's based on what I know about my own government. That is more likely than these guys getting footage.
Wasn't
which
that
is
released
why I
under
just
Obama?
asked that question.
It wasn't.
Oh.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay. So we'll
Great.
continue here.
Okay.
All right. So is that something that's leaked, or is that something that they've quote unquote the public is ready? We're gonna put this out now.
Yeah. So I don't know the answer to that. All I know is that I was aware of the footage 2 years prior to it becoming public. I spoke for a long time with the lead pilot, Commander David Fravor, and a number of other witnesses involved with that testimony. I actually went public with it twice, so it's on the record that I did break that story before the New York Times. The New York Times was the tip of the spear, though. They used this case to push it to the public. Now, was it forced because it had already started leaking?
Right.
I don't know. I know it's personal agendas. Lou Elizondo, who ran ATIP, Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, came forward, got those videos declassified, made sure they were unclassified, and then used those in order to come forward with this information. So it could be part of a much larger conspiracy, like Dave just said before he was pissing, which is pretty cool.
Right. And there's truth to that, though, in the way of, an intelligent person would think that. Like, we know conspiracies have existed, whether it's paranormal or just strategic, military, things are put out purposely, and disinformation
And
exists.
propaganda, and
and propaganda and all that kind of stuff. So it does pose an interesting question is, what do you have any summations about what that could be if that was the scenario?
It is, to the best of my personal knowledge and understanding, just me personally, what I've seen and what I've been exposed to, that it is a true effort from individuals who personally are fed up with this being covered up.
Right.
And they think that if we don't figure it out soon, we know that the Chinese, the Russians, and other countries, other foreign nations are trying to figure it out.
Right.
And if it is a technology that is so advanced that we could deploy troops or use incredible antigravitics, we better fucking figure it out. That's what I think the real motivation is.
Yeah, but if you show the public potential threats from another location in space while you're doing all these trade negotiations and backing out of everything and backing out of this and backing out of that, making all these countries our fucking enemies, you're going to be able to get a space force pushed through pretty quickly.
No, you have a diabolical mind, and so do I. That's
He's
the
a
way I would.
diabolical president.
He is, and we have to be able to see that. But I wouldn't give him that much credit. I honestly wouldn't. That's my personal opinion. I don't think it's connected. I think we've got patriot individuals wanting to get this information out who worked in those programs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Jeremy, I'm really excited about the
Bob Lazar
film. I mean, that to me, he's the most credible guy that I've ever listened to.
Yeah, me too.
I've listened to them all, and he's the first guy with science to back up his information, and then who can also dumb it down like the science guy for every man to understand.
The Bill Nye of ufology.
Oh my God, that's terrible. So this is, I'm so excited for this because I am a nuts and bolts person at my core about this stuff. I've gone deep down the rabbit hole with all of this, but really this is my passion, this guy, because what I want to know is what you want to know.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Is Bob Lazar telling us the truth?
Right.
And hopefully after watching my movie, you will have a decision on that.
What, he also supposedly saw one of them, right?
He was in one. He actually dismantled one.
A creature?
A body.
I addressed that in my film. Did Bob Lazar see an alien when he was working at Area 51S4? Did he?
What was the answer?
You'll have to
see the film.
Should I tell you? Or do you want
can shake your head, yes or no?
I can't. It's not that simple.
Oh, here we go.
But it's not. You gotta let him answer, right? So Dave, how about this? Not only will I give you the movie, I'll give you the bonus scene of that, where you get him in depth explaining that situation. It has been reported that he saw an alien. He thought he saw an alien. It's not as simple as that. Bob is a really critical person, even of his own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So
bottom line,
he didn't know what he was seeing. Possibly.
Yeah. He'll say, how do I know for sure that was an living alien?
I saw a thing, but I don't know what it was.
It was a small creature in a chair with the back turned, two guys looking at it, but he doesn't think it was something. Maybe it was
Could it
a dog.
have been a Filipino child?
He's always proposed that.
Wait a minute. This is starting to sound better.
You know what I'm saying?
Now this is my kind of movie.
Oh no, there's rockets and sex and
Is he a sex
murder
criminal?
in this film.
Is Bob Lazar a sex criminal?
No, he's not.
No wonder he lives out in the middle of
You're
nowhere.
starting new fucking rumors with a
Jeremy
single word.
Corbell said it right here that Bob Lazar
I
is a sex
swear to
criminal.
God, I'm gonna. Can you delete this fucker, man?
No.
I'm gonna reach over this table.
What is the name of the film?
Okay, Bob Lazar, Area 51, and Flying Saucers.
I like this.
Great.
Simple
To the fact, to the point. This guy is the one voice of credit that I think exists. George Knapp knows what he's talking about, but he didn't work on a craft.
Yeah.
Can we ever prove Bob Lazar's story definitively? I don't know if we can.
I don't know.
But what I can do is I can provide you with triple the amount of experience of him and his testimony for you to make your own decision.
They destroyed Jesse Marcel for doing the very, very same.
There you go.
Destroyed him.
Actually, I've never been resisted in any of the stuff I've ever done. People have only helped me. So from DIA to like a number of journalists, they've all brought it forward and helped me. There's nobody has ever told me to not look into this. I think that's bullshit. People like to pretend like they're being looked after by the fucking FBI. Really? Everybody wants to know the truth.
Well, here's the thing about that is that we're not far from it. I mean, if I was, I wrote this little short story the other day, and it was between a government employee and a computer programmer. And basically the gist of it is we need to find a way as the government power to be able to know where everybody is, to know what they're doing, to know what they like, who they're friends with, where they are at all times. What can we do to find, keep tabs on people like that? And the computer programmer says, well, I was doing this app that I'm working on, and it's to test sociopathic vanity, but I think it'll work for you. And he's like, what's it called? He says, Instagram.
So before we end, I just want to say, Dave.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I just want to say, Dave, I have to apologize to you, man.
What?
Well, my brother, Nick, he told me to make sure to say this, but, your music was the soundtrack to our lives growing up.
Oh, thank you.
No, it was.
Thank you.
And somehow my brother was being sponsored at NNA, my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
So his two younger brothers, somehow we got a hold of your number. My younger brother, when he was 12, Nick, he fucking called you for guitar lessons. And it was like a prank call, but he wanted a guitar lesson.
What did I say?
All he remembers is it didn't happen. But he says sorry because you were the soundtrack to our life. The music that you created, it really influenced our lives. And my younger brother, prank called you.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm a fan of yours now.
I'll go out on a limb and say if you can give him undeniable proof, he will give all of you a free lesson.
And blowjobs.
What we should do at some point next time we're hanging out, maybe come to the Lazar thing. will prank the shit out of my fucking brother that he called you like that. His name's Nick.
All right. I'll say, look, well, he's listening though. I'm sure
He's not listening right now. We'll figure it out. But you should prank his ass.
You should call Nick as a cop and say that his brother Jeremy died in a crash.
Say this is my brother Nick. I'll go, Nick.
How fucking
is this
dare
the
you?
Motherfucker who's calling me?
That's what I'm saying. I know it's been
I can do it.
I know it's been like
You're the motherfucker who was calling me for guitar lessons.
I remember you, Nick.
I love it when you get all hard.
It's been 28 years, but
great.
I'll teach you how to play guitar, you asshole. Yeah, we'll
I'm gonna go crazy on him.
Oh, good. You should, man.
Security!
Yeah.
This motherfucker out of here. That's gonna be great. But please, that other thing we talked about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tijuana, the whole thing.
Watch this movie, Hunt for the Skinwalker. I loved it. It left me finally want some fucking evidence.
Good.
You know what you should watch? There's another documentary. I'll recommend it to you. It's called The Connected Universe.
Thank you.
And it's all about how 99.9% of the universe is space and everything else is matter.
Yeah.
Planets, people, everything. And even in the matter, there's space in the matter. It's pretty cool.
Second I pull my head out of my own ass making this next fucking film, I'll watch a documentary.
Well, you should watch it. I mean, I think it's in line with what you're after.
I appreciate it, man. And look, hopefully as I make these films, they get better and better. I'm getting to a point now where this movie, I'm so excited about. Hunt for the Skinwalker, and then the Bob Lazar.
Get out of the fucking desert, dude. Are you in the desert for Bob?
In the desert? No, I'm in the desert for myself, man. You heard of Pioneer Town?
No.
Pappy and Harriet's?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they know what's up, Dave.
Oh, is that my shit? Do I need to go?
I've been wanting to get James to play Pappy and Harriet's for 10 years.
Wait, is that not where I played with fucking Corgan?
No.
Oh,
I don't think so.
We played outside at some fucking hillbilly ranch.
I wasn't there for that.
It might be. Sounds interesting. It might be. But so you're in the middle of the desert, Pioneer Town, my ranch. I got an 80-acre ranch. You drive this rock.
Yeah.
You drive this rock fucking crawler, right? And it goes. You don't have to get on the pavement. You get to Pappy and Harriet's, so I can host.
I like this.
Hey, now my life's just taking a big turn.
Are you ready for this?
Things are looking up for
Ready
you.
to headline Pappy and Harriet's.
Pappy and Harriet's.
It actually is
and
pretty
then,
rad.
So rad.
How big is it?
You could probably put 150 people in there.
Hey,
Maybe
look,
I won't
people?
headline. I'll co-headline.
Look. Paul McCartney didn't look down upon it when he played a private show there last year. Come
Yeah.
on, right?
I know. But Paul McCartney is, look how he turned out.
All I'm saying is, people did claim at that
after
place.
the divorce, he needed the gig at Pappy
You
and Harriet's.
know way more than I do about this. I just thought
I'm
it was
just saying
fucking.
he lost half his
I
money
had to write
from
a
his
check for
divorce.
$500 million to his wife.
He played in Pappy and
All I
Harriet's,
know
too.
is that was so badass. It was like you're in an ET movie. Everybody was sitting outside, like silent on the back of their pickups, looking like, "Is this really one of the Beatles?" Playing?
And he's doing meet and greets in the back for $50 a pop.
How many times have you seen the film Close Encounters?
I mean, this is a test. Probably too many.
It's definitely too many for us.
No,
I don't think it's too many. I
don't
don't think
think
you
there's
can
enough.
ever watch that
okay,
movie.
what is it about that film? It's emotional. You just
It's emotional. It's scientific. It's believable. It's theoretical.
And it's peak Spielberg when he made perfect movies.
And it really is. They don't show too much.
And it's got Francois Truffaut in it.
Oh, he's
yeah.
fucking unbelievable.
Who's modeled after Jacques Vallée, the
Yeah,
real
yeah.
person. Jacques Vallée came to my ranch
I
in
envy
Pioneer
you,
Town,
Mr.
by the way.
They belong here.
And Jacques
Rosalie.
Vallée had 15 samples that he's studying of physical evidence where they're looking at the isotopes and the elements to try to see if they're unique and they're from known crash sites and discharge from UFOs, that kind of thing. Fucking amazing work. Jacques Vallée has had more critical research into this field than anybody. And it was like my dream come true. We're sitting there, we're comparing notes about my one object, right? And we're doing that. And I turn to him, I'm like, man, what is this all about? What is it that's going on with this UFO business? And he turns to me and he goes, honestly, Jeremy, I don't know, but you're asking the right questions. And I was so disappointed. I told him it was depressing. He should know the answers because he's fucking that guy.
Yeah.
These people were invited.
Well, guys, come to the premiere. You guys personally.
I can't wait, man.
Me
Yeah,
too.
we will be there.
I actually
I'm
saw
excited.
the 40th anniversary re-release of Close Encounters. It's just the fucking best, man. It's just even the language. What's your weakest moment where the plot line gets thin?
In that film?
Yeah.
What is yours? I don't know.
Mine is, before I was a translator, I used to read maps. These look a lot like longitudes. Like, really?
Man, you've overanalyzed that film.
Well,
I would
that's what
never have
these
thought.
two guys do this with every movie.
Really?
A geostatic
I'm going to need a
geodatic
geostatic survey map of Wyoming.
Wyoming. Yes.
Have you been to Devil's Tower?
No,
I gotta go.
Yeah. What was that before? What was that?
It is a natural structure.
It's so trippy.
I know. And
I would love to see it.
They show the movie there.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I gotta go see it. I want
Okay.
someday. Anyway, that's my bucket.
Oh yeah,
list.
people talk at it. My friend was talking at that.
My bucket list. I fucking.
Okay, when you go do that, let me know, and I will go with you guys.
Okay,
Nice.
That's a good deal.
Love to see that.
All right, buddy, we got to wrap it up.
All right.
Anything you want to plug?
No, well, I mean, I guess all of my work can be found at extraordinarybeliefs.com. Really simple. Go there, but just buy the movie. It helps me make another one. That's it.
That's right. Yeah, support independent filmmaking. You know that Todd and I paid for our own movie. We made a movie together, so we know.
Yeah.
What you're up against, and go support independent filmmaking, especially when he's revealing the truth. Don't support some fucking famous guy who's already loaded, who's got some little fucking side project.
Yeah.
You know, help me make this cookbook and I'll put your name in the end of it. Like some fucking bullshit. Let's spend our money on the truth.
Right.
All right, man.
Thank you,
Jeremy, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you.
We're going to be back in a minute.
Well,
No,
we're going to say goodbye
done.
now.
It's 11 o'clock.
So,
Yeah.
We're out.
Next week, we have director Boots Riley, who did the movie Sorry to Bother You.
Great.
We also toured with him before, but he'll be back. He'll be here next
right.
week, and look forward to that.
That's right.
Yeah.
When he's not wearing boots, they call him Sandals Riley?
Boots barefoot,
Or Barefoot Riley?
or your barefoot Riley.
Socks only Riley?
Well,
Did you have any idea how
Thank God I
stupid
needed
we
to
were?
air these out,
Guys,
Riley.
honestly, this is so much fun. I love what you guys are doing here. This is pretty cool.
Thank you, sir.
Wednesday
Just-
night hangout.
Yeah.
We're as smart as we are stupid. That's the problem.
You guys are having fun. Seriously,
Dash
you
Radio.
know
Dash allows us to
more
do a
than I
lot
thought.
here.
Yes.
All right, go check out Hunt for the Skinwalker and Patient 17. I've seen them both. They're great. Take it easy.